Is this thing on? Hello! It's about time on this lovely Monday. Yes! I'm going to turn the music down. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live after a long weekend, or at least for those of us in the States. I don't know if anyone else, when other countries have their special days like ours, but we had Memorial Day yesterday in honor of those who had fallen in the service of this country. And Lady Boomer and I took the time to try and see as many Great Lakes as we could see in one weekend. Yes, we accomplished 3. And didn't pay attention to the news much because we are busy doing other stuff. So, today's going to be kind of a news roundup weekend, and I might be just as surprised as you. So, feel free to fill me in on things you might want us to talk about. And on that note, I think it's time we play the intro. Turn that off. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
All right, let's get this thing started, everybody. Stop the music. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where I am refreshed, relaxed, happy, had a lot of fun, saw a lot of cool stuff, saw a lot of beautiful nature, saw some beautiful stuff on an island. I got to drive a horse-drawn buggy. And it was a fun weekend, man. We drove, I don't have the miles calculated yet. I'll calculate that out, put it on my other channel. But over, I don't know, we drove lots because we drove from Minneapolis, St. Paul. We went over to Green Bay, hung out and took some pictures in front of Lambeau Field. Saw a couple of waterfalls around Green Bay, ate at a nice little family restaurant, little family-owned place that had a great breakfast there. Then we drove up the west coast of Lake Michigan and all the way around the top to Mackinac City, Michigan. So we went through Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula all the way around. And then came down across the Mackinac Bridge, which is really cool. In fact, we went to a Mackinac Bridge museum. That was actually fascinating. Just a museum about how the bridge was made and how many the people worked there. They had a bunch of hard hats of a bunch of the people who actually worked on the bridge. Now, not all of them were the original hard hats because there was a fire at this museum at one point. But they have signed helmets from all the guys who were, people who worked on the bridge. Spent some time in Mackinac City, which is kind of a touristy, northern summer, haunt. I mean, during the winter, we found out there's only 500 people who live there, but it packs up in the summer because it's a beautiful, beautiful beaches and lake. You on one side of the Mackinac Bridge is Lake Huron, and the other side is Lake Michigan, and we went up to we took a ferry out to Mackinac City, spent the day there. That is just beautiful, man. There was some cool stuff there. And then Monday we left Mackinac City early and drove up to Lake Superior. So we went north. Well, we went west and then north, and went to, it's called Painted Rock National shoreline or something like that. It's beautiful shoreline. Just all the rock formations that the glacial rock formations from Lake Superior, and there's a big old island out there, and you beautiful beaches and whatever. We went up and down there, did some waterfall hunting while we were there too, and it was great. It was a lot of driving. We left Mackinac City, I want to say like 8 a.m. and we did not get home till 1 this morning. So it was a challenge getting up to go to work for my early thing, and I'm, as you can see, I'm a little bug-eyed right now, but it was a wonderful, wonderful trip. And what we're going to do, as usual, I take footage, so I probably have to be changing my preview. It's long overdue to change my preview video, my countdown video. So I'll probably use footage from that trip for this one, and then we'll also put a bunch of shorts and videos on my other channel, Marty's Big Journey of the trip. I have one, Pictured Rocks. Thank you. Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. That's what it's called. It's amazing, and we only got to see a tiny bit of. We're gonna go back there sometime and just make a whole week of just doing that, because it's just beautiful, beautiful scenery, beautiful nature, beautiful, Where's that damn squirrel again? Why is he always outside right here? I can hear him right through the wall. Loud little fucker. Anyway, yeah, not Pictured Rocks, Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, up in northern Michigan, the Michigan coast of Lake Superior. Phenomenal, unbelievably beautiful area, and so that was very cool. We're gonna go up there and take a boat tour sometime. So anyway. Let's say good morning, everybody, and then we're gonna get caught up in news, because I didn't pay attention to the news this weekend at all. Not at all. Oh, the spy squirrel I sent to finally locate. Yeah, now I'm beginning to wonder, because it's so loud. Did it somehow get into my house, or is it just did they make a nest in like my foundation? What is going on here? It's crazy. Anyway. All right, let's say good morning and just go start getting into some news. So I'm going to have so many tabs open that we're never going to get through any of this. I mean, not any of it. We're not going to get through all of this, because I just started opening tabs. I haven't even looked at any of these stories because, again, I didn't pay attention to the news. You and me, we're all going to be seeing this at the same time. You probably know more about some of it than I do, but I just want to, get caught up in the news. So that's what we're going to do. So let's say good morning, everybody, and get that started. First, the chat over on Rumble. Avocados Diabli gets the bell. Thank you, sir. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. And Jimmy Dazotep is in the house. Over on YouTube, Avocados Diabli gets the bell. Also, good morning, HP Lovecraft, Mike Savage, Blarg, Tyrannus, Alexandria, Tyrannus, Alexandrius, the Invictus Lich. He's in the house. How did you get your own theme song? I know. I have a little things for certain people that. I have some quirky things that happen, but I don't know how you got your own theme song. I mean, you got the epic one. That's cool. Good morning also. GDSOB, what's up? Good morning. Hate Camel, one of the original viewers of the Morning Night Live. Jonathan Peterson's back. Nice to see ya. Simon Wolfwood, hello. Lord Stanhope, what up? Rotten Corpse is here. Good morning. Also, Jay Pylon, also from Hotep Nation. Good morning also to, who else is here? Is that everybody? I'm scrolling. There's got to be somebody else here. Select the boy. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning. Sarah's in the house. Hi, Sarah. Hello, Renee Mayette. Good morning also. I think that's everybody. So, do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, please share this stream. Hit the like button, do all that stuff, and if you haven't noticed, okay, so I have this new thing down here that I gotta make up. I'm putting a new goal every week for the donations, so I don't even know what I have because I can't read it. Just because I'm going to be having a hip surgery, I'm going to be out of work for a while, so I'm going to start trying to make this. Maybe I can make this work eventually. Clearly, we're going to need more people watching the show, and I'm going to work on that. But just to, I'm going to be out of work for a while, so just try to make a goal there and see if that works, and we'll see what happens. But you don't have to donate to the show. The show is always free. But I also eventually I'm going to get rid of the second job, or the third job, I should call it, I guess. And so anyway, we're going to try to make that happen here. Also, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
And Aaron Meredith just dropped in. Good morning. When's the surgery? Well, I'm going to find out today. Going for my consultation today. And it's weird because most people who have this surgery they walk the same day, which is wild to me. And I'm sure anything's better than how my hip feels now. But I can't lift things for a while. So I would be able to walk no problem. Good morning, Rachel and Mandos Dildo. So anyway, we're gonna I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know how. I know one of the jobs I can't work for probably 6 to 8 weeks, and then UPS is gonna be. They'll be able to find. I can work there and do kind of what I do because of the, because I don't spend a lot of time lifting or moving around a lot. So we see what happens. Anyway, good morning, Stefania. How you doing? You're gonna get short-term disability from the Brown Box? No, I don't pay extra for that. I basically work there for the health insurance. So the good thing is, I'll only have a deductible, and it's not with UPS. Surgery deductibles are pretty low, relatively low, I should say, and compared to what I've heard other people having to pay deductibles. So fortunately, that's okay. But no, I don't have short-term disability either one. I have long-term disability, but not short-term. All right, so let's get into some news because there's things happening in the world. Now, I just, a couple things that are trending right now that I'm looking at it and I'm like, hello, Annalyn, what's up? A couple things that are trending that I was like, well, what is going on? Beto O'Rourke is trending. And I'm like, why is Beto O'Rourke What is he going to be? Wait, who? Beto?
Beta.
No, Beto. Beto O'Rourke. Oh, by the way, before I move on, I do have coffee, and I got a new cup when I was in the Great Lakes. And this is the Great Lakes. What's it say? No, it says no salt, no sharks, no worries. Yeah, there's no salt and no sharks in the Great Lakes. But the water is really cold, especially in Lake Michigan. But no, we had, oh, by the way, too, we had this great room. I mean, it's preseason in northern Michigan. Like northern Michigan, high season's not till like the second week in June because it really doesn't start hopping up there until schools get out, and schools get out late in Michigan. And so if you go up there Memorial Day weekend, it's pretty cheap to go there. I mean, even room wise. And we had this room that had a balcony that overlooked overlooked the beach. Our balcony overlooked the beach in Lake Michigan. And you probably saw it if you saw me post. That picture was from our balcony. And then the other cool thing is Sunday night, there were fireworks. And the fireworks thing was straight outside of our window. I mean, like, literally, we ended up going down and watching it from the beach. But they had a big fireworks show, for Memorial Day. And so that was cool. It was, I mean, literally straight out in the lake from our hotel. They had a platform out there, and they shot them off from the platform. And you could see it from the entire coast. It was fantastic. So that was cool. So it was a lot of fun. Wait, camping? Oh, someone's talking about camping? No, okay. I'm not sure there. Yeah, it was really a cool place. I never had thought of going there until one of my college friends said, hey, we go there every Memorial Day weekend. And it was cool. Good morning, Gulf City, DCC, a.k.a. Blink 182. What's up? All right, so anyway, Beto O'Rourke's trending, and I think it has something to do with the fact that Ken Paxton is being impeached in the state of Texas. Now, and we talked about this on Friday, that he's being impeached and kind of pushed by some of the Republican legislators there. Well, over the weekend, the one thing that I did see before we were leaving is that they may not be able to do that because they're trying to impeach him for something that happened before he became the Attorney General. I didn't tweet out the show. I didn't. Oh, I never hit. Oh, there you go. I never hit. I never sent it. Well, that's dumb. Okay, now I did tweet out the show. I just did. Okay, silly me. God, that was dumb. Well, I have a look. I've been on vacation. I was 3 days. I gotta say we at least, I'm gonna say 800 miles driving. I'm gonna guess, and probably more than that. I gotta go look. I set my odometer. I reset one of my odometers so I could report on how much driving we did. Although once we got to Michigan, we didn't drive at all. We either walked or we took the ferry, and then we had, like I said, I rented a horse-drawn carriage that you drive yourself to get around, just to take a tour of the island. And like I said, that was really cool. But anyway, get back to the news. Silly me. I had a brain fart. So, yeah, never stop Trump haters from impeaching Trump. That is true. It's called a tripometer. Oh, well, there you go. So Ken Paxton is trending on Twitter, Beto is trending on Twitter, and there's apparently some clip. He was on the War Room with Steve Bannon, and somebody now they're starting to say, "Oh, did Ken Paxton stop Beto O'Rourke from winning Texas?" And was it a rigged election? I have no idea, and I'm pretty sure that the Texas election, like every other election in the country, was the most safe and secure election in the history of all elections of any year ever. Okay, there were safe elections in Texas, but apparently this clip has got people upset. In fact, here it is: impeach Texas AG Paxton. Again, they won't be able to impeach him because they're going to read their own laws and realize that they can't do it. Says that if he hadn't stopped 2.5 million mail-in ballots, Biden would have won Texas in 2020. Okay, is that what he said? Good morning, Scribe Light. Dog thrapple. So let's see. I haven't seen the clip. Let's see if this is if it sounds the same to you. I'm going to guess that it might not, but here we go.
It's certainly critical to my state, and that's why we fought off these 12 lawsuits. We had them in Houston, we had them in San Antonio, we had them in Austin, we had them in the counties where you'd have the most liberal judges. And it was a concerted effort nationally with lots of money going into it. And just knowing that we had 12 lawsuits that we had to win, and if we had lost one of them, like we lost Harris County, Trump won by 620,000 votes in Texas. Harris County mail-in ballots that they wanted to send out were 2.5 million. Those were all illegal, and we were able to stop every one of them.
Okay, hold it. So they're saying, well, he stopped 2.5 million ballots. Yeah, 2.5 million illegal ballots. So they weren't valid ballots. But let's see this is what the rest of this is that they're yapping about. We would have been in the
very same situation. We would have been on election night. I was watching election night, and I knew when I saw what was happening in these other states that would have been Texas. We would have been in the same boat. We would have been one of those battleground states that they were counting votes in Harris County for 3 days, and Donald Trump would have lost the election.
Okay, so I get it. So he fought off what he was describing as illegal ballots. They're saying, oh, this is election interference. They won in all 12 of those cases. So I think they're barking up the wrong tree. All right, let's move on. I'm just going to go through this list. Let's see. Nancy Mace is trending. The Representative Nancy Mace. Apparently she, so this debt ceiling deal that apparently that McCarthy and the Dimension Adult Sundowner in the White House came up with. Some of the Republicans aren't happy with it, that they were hoping to get on board. And I know probably some of the leftist Democrats are going to go into lockstep because they don't have really any principles. And so, but Nancy Mace apparently tweeted something that has gotten people riled up, and that is Washington is broken. Republicans got outsmarted by a president who can't find his pants. I'm voting no on the debt ceiling debacle because playing the DC game isn't worth selling out our kids and grandkids, which is interesting. And so people are asking, what are the repercussions from defaulting on our debt? That's why I'm torn on this whole thing. The economy's not in good shape, and I fear a default would throw us into a bigger mess. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, now she's on the War Room too. Okay, she's also, something about, speaks out about the House Oversight Committee investigation into sex trafficking. Okay, I don't care about that. I mean, I do. That's a bad thing that we don't want happening. But I think the reason she's trending is because of this. And then Laura Loomer. Here's Laura Loomer. She's a little loony. Laura Looney. But, I mean, okay. Laura Loomer is nutty. And I know her heart's the right place, but gosh, she's annoying. Hello. Hey, those aren't real dudes here. Nice to see you. Remember when Representative MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, attacked Nancy Mace and accused her of not being a conservative? Nancy Mace is 100% more conservative than MTG when it comes to calling out Speaker McCarthy's debt deal, which is the debt deal is kind of crazy. I got to be honest with you. Wait, what? Okay, I just looked at Sarah, what you said, something dollar cock is trending. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so people are describing her as MAGA. She's no moderate. She's as MAGA as the rest of them. People are mad. Debt limit. Nancy Mace says she does not support McCarthy's debt deal. Here's an article on it. Let's go through this. Let's fit that on the page, though. That'd be better. Debt limit. Nancy Mace says she does not support McCarthy's deal with Biden. She came out in opposition to the recent debt ceiling deal struck between President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Over the weekend, Washington is broken. Republicans got outsmarted by a president who can't find his pants and voting no on the debt ceiling debacle because playing the DC game isn't worth selling out our kids and grandkids. She tweeted Tuesday morning. Mace previously signaled opposition to the Limit Save Grow Act, Republicans' initial offering in the debt limit negotiations, before later coming around. One of her chief concerns at the time was that the bill didn't balance the budget. Well, we haven't had a balanced budget, and I'm not even sure if this was really balanced in the 90s. But when the Newt Gingrich and the House Republicans fought around with Bill Clinton, and then Bill Clinton took credit for the balanced budget. Because the media let him. I don't even know if that was really balanced, but that was the closest we've ever been in a long damn time. Now, so anyway, 4 weeks of tense discussion, negotiations revealed Saturday that they achieved a breakthrough with the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023, which is a complete misnomer. The bill, which was released Sunday, would suspend the debt ceiling for roughly 2 years in exchange for a slew of spending clawbacks and other reforms. Yes, because that's kicking it down the road like they always do. And they're never going to get Democrats to agree on stopping the spending, lowering the spending. There'll never, ever be a time when we don't spend more from year to year. They will only lower the rate of increase. And that's not lowering spending. Anyway, real quick. Thank you, Carnivore Dad, a.k.a. Jimmy Hotep, right? That's you, Jimmy, right? Dropping a big bullet in the tip jar. And you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Carnivore Dad. Paxton was a Trump guy, and I think a lot of rhinos in Texas want him gone. I hate the way the political system is able to oust people before you have a trial for crimes. I don't trust that most of these impeachments are purely political anymore. Of course they're political. This is absolutely political, and you're right. The anti-Trumpers in Texas, the ones who might be inclined to vote for Beta if some came down. Beta. They're trying to run Paxton out. The problem is, like I said over the weekend, some people figured out what they're doing is not constitutional. So impeachment is just the charge, and they're going to figure out they're not following the law. I got a feeling. I'm just saying. So anyway, back to Nancy Mace as part of the deal, or the debt deal. As part of the deal, non-defense and non-veteran discretionary spending growth. Listen to the sentence carefully, because they're not lowering any spending. Non-defense and non-veteran discretionary spending growth will largely be kept down until 2024 before increasing by roughly 1% in 2025. Now that's probably, an improvement a little bit, because I don't, there's, even with inflation, I don't care. They need to slow it down. They need to slow the roll, right? If the spending caps outlined in the bill are retained for 6 years, it could reduce the deficit. The deficit. No, they're not saying the debt. It could reduce the deficit by $2.1 trillion. So our deficit for 6 years is going to be another $2.1 trillion. Now, granted, during the Trump administration, the deficit for the 4 years, particularly because of the last year, was like $7 trillion. I mean, it was unbelievable, and I'm not happy with that either. Now, the one thing is, a major portion of that was the last year, aka COVID, when we decided to shut down the country and just give everybody money for free. Let's just give everybody money and make everybody stay home, except for us us super essential workers who were delivering your Amazon packages. So, that is at least, now before that year, COVID year, that's probably an average of deficit for the last 10 years. Prior to Trump, too. I mean, the deficit, reducing the deficit is a crazy concept. It's still deficit because you're still adding a balance to your credit card. You know what I mean? So I can understand why there are certain people who are responsible that say, that doesn't really make any sense either. So anyway, about a dozen Republicans from both chambers of Congress have voiced opposition to the agreement, meaning that McCarthy and Biden will need to lean on Democrats to secure the passage. The House is expected to vote on the bill Wednesday and the Senate later this week. There's several House members who have said they're not going to do it. They're going to vote against it. I know Chip Roy has, Thomas Massey, now Nancy Mace. Very interesting. Thank you, Brown Note Fan. Brown Note Fan with a small bullet in the tip jar. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Who says, ever heard of the Brown Note, P-Dog? I'm a big fan. Thanks for the stream. Hi, chat. Well, hi to you, too. Are you in the chat? Who's Brown Note Fan? I'm not sure who that is. And I have not heard of the Brown Note, but I have now, and we'll have to look that up and see what that means. All right. So anyway, so it's just more... that's why Nancy Mace is trending this morning. All right, what else is happening in the news? Let's see here. The United States Postal Service is trending in the news. People are mad about the Postal Service, so that's when people are mad about something, it trends. And let's see. I'm just going to look and see what people are saying. Oh boy, the U.S. Postal Service is trending. Let me guess. Someone wants to privatize it or is complaining about how it doesn't make a profit. Let me tell you guys something. If you live out in a rural area, then you will never get any mail from a private company. Really? I bet you get Amazon packages in rural areas. I know that for a fact because we deliver to, I know UPS delivers to rural areas. I know that FedEx delivers to rural areas. I know that Amazon delivers to rural areas through either UPS or FedEx. But I beg to differ. But let me ask you something. How many of you get a lot of stuff in the mail? I mean, I get some bills in the mail. I do get a lot of stuff in the mail. I get a lot of stuff that I don't want in the mail. I get all kinds of ads and stuff, and I rarely, ever get stuff I want, Although occasionally Amazon packages come through United States Postal Services. I don't know why Amazon uses UPS, FedEx, U.S. Postal Service, and their own trucks. They got everybody running shit for them. So anyway, people are mad. Apparently someone said something about the U.S. Postal Service not making money. Someone says, I truly don't care if the U.S. Postal Service is revenue neutral or costs us money. It's a service, and it's the one of the few things that the Constitution actually mandates the government do. Appoint good leadership to it, but otherwise don't mess with it too much. Okay. So apparently it's trending because I don't know why. Let's see. It doesn't tell me why they're trending. People are blaming that. Apparently that guy that Donald Trump put in there is still there. DeJoy is still running the United States Postal Service. I don't know. Here it is. Oh, The Economist. The United States Postal Service is viewed favorably by 91% of Americans despite billions of losses annually. It's a service. It doesn't lose money. It costs money. No one says the military loses $750 billion a year. Well, the U.S. Postal Service is a quasi-governmental agency that is supposed to be revenue neutral, though. And so, how the Republican Party deliberately bankrupt the U.S. Postal Service. Did they now? Okay, they profited in these years, 05. Did you know in 2006 the U.S. Postal Service was profitable? That year, the Republican-led Congress passed a law to require the U.S. Postal Service to prepay 75 years worth of retiree health benefits at a cost over $100 billion. No other business does that. The U.S. Postal Service has been unprofitable since, and that law is still in effect. Now Trump is slashing the U.S. Postal Service because it's not. Well, Trump is not here anymore. Trump is not part of the U.S. government anymore, so he's not doing anything. So, I don't know. Every once in a while, people bitch about the U.S. Postal Service, and somebody must have said something, but I can't seem to find what anyone was saying. JMK, how you doing? Nice to see you. All right. So, brown note is like the barf tone. As much as you want it to be true, it just isn't. Okay. I'm not sure what that. I'm not sure what that means. The brown note. Yes, the mythical brown note. I'm not sure. Okay, somebody explain the brown note. In the chat. The brown note is a musical note that is said to make whoever hear it shit themselves. Oh, okay. That work? Anybody? I'm just curious. Oh, I hope I don't hit that note. All right, let's go on. This is that's stupid. Oh, Marines are trending. I know why Marines are trending. I did hear about this one. So apparently, some kids in Cali, beat up a couple of Marines who were trying to get them to stop harassing some other people. And so the whole 30 to 40 kids beat and stomped the Marines. Video, 3 Marines beat and stomped after confronting 30 to 40 teens. I'm not going to show the video. Because this is YouTube. In fact, let's take this off the screen because I don't want to scroll and accidentally show it. So in San Clemente, California, 2 Marines were beaten by a group of teenagers in the Orange County Sheriff's Department Monday was searching for the attackers. The melee began about 9:15 p.m. Friday near the pier located at the end of Avenida Del Mar, and the OSCD deputies respond, whatever. So anyway, that's really unfortunate. And there's it's kind of weird. I am not one to blame video games for violence, right? I will never. I think that's a little bit silly thing to do. However, it's kind of weird. There seems to be how do I describe? There seems to be a Grand Theft Auto mentality just flying through this country. Okay, now I don't say that's because of the game. I say it's because of our lack of concern for human life, lack of concern for our fellow man. I see all these videos, and also because unfortunately, fight videos on the internet are becoming a form of entertainment. And I really get tired of it. I mean, look, and I think some of it comes from the fact that every time there's a incident between a guy in a uniform and particularly if their skin is of the lightest melanin tone versus over the darkest melanin tone, and we're starting to see those videos a lot. And now, so we see videos of the rioting over the last, and not just the 2020s, the BLM riots and all that. I mean, even before that, violent videos are a big thing. And there are some cases where if GTA were real life, hookers would be more desired than doctors. Well, true. I don't blame it on the games themselves. I'm saying the games are a reflection of what people want to see. And unfortunately, people begin to participate in more. You're seeing the street racing. You're seeing people, you're just seeing people do shit that's stupid. So it's, I don't know, man. Our society's losing its fucking mind as far as I'm concerned. All right. And then I already said why beta was trending, so I'm going to skip that. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. Apparently in Hollywood, Florida, there was another Pew Pew event where 9 people were shot. I don't know if any of them died. Let's see. Doesn't say anything, but police have detained at least one person of interest. I'll put the CNN article on here. Detained one person of interest, but are searching for an additional suspect who is described as wearing a black short-sleeved shirt and camo shorts. Hollywood Police Department spokesman Deanna Bettineschi told reporters. Now that doesn't tell me a damn thing about the person that was shooting anybody. You see, they're searching for an additional suspect who was described as wearing black short-sleeve shirts and camo shorts. Wow. That narrows it down a lot. I mean, and God, I bet you that person never changes clothes. So anyway, what the interesting thing about, as I heard about this shooting, I saw someone tweeting about it. I think it was one of the, what's her name? The Shannon Watts, okay? Moms Demand, the anti-gun people, right? And she made a big deal about the fact that Ron DeSantis made open carry without a permit or license or whatever a thing. It passed in April, right? So she made a big deal about that. Oh, yeah, this is happening. And Gavin Newsom did the same thing, as if there were never any shootings in California, right? California with their really super strict gun laws and Illinois with their strict gun laws. There's that certain area that's right up against Lake Michigan with their gun laws, right? I don't like to mention that town as much as everybody else does, but a lot of these places where, there's all kinds of shootings and stuff, and it happens all the time. And Gavin Newsom's over here tweeting about how Florida has, we just made open carry legal. Well, first of all, that open carry law that they passed in Florida doesn't go into effect until July. So it has nothing to do with the open carry part. And number 2, I would imagine if there were a bunch of people around there carrying weapons, like openly, and these nitwits decided that they wanted to start shooting at each other, because this certainly was some idiots shooting at each other, right? I'm pretty sure you see a bunch of people around carrying guns, you're going to think twice about pulling yours out. So, constitutional carry, yes, not open carry. Thank you. I'll use the correct terminology from now on. Thank you, GD, for reminding me. So I'm just thinking, these people are nuts, and I guarantee it. When all that business was happening in California, how noisy was Shannon Watts? Remember the big old shooting in January? The gentleman of what we would say Eastern influence shot up a dance hall party or some shit like that, and I know with a weapon that you're not supposed to even be able to have in California. I was shocked and amazed. So anyway, this is unfortunate, and I don't think we have a gun problem. I think we have a people problem. This is related to what I was just talking about with our new Grand Theft Auto mentality. And I'm not blaming it on Grand Theft Auto. It's Grand Theft Auto is just a symptom of what we're seeing, where people are just want to see more violent shit. I don't know. I saw that they were tweeting about that. I was like, you're idiots. This has nothing to do with them passing an open carry law. Okay, these are some, for lack of a better word, dickheads shoot each other while there's a crowd around. They were having this. So anyway, now it's a bullet problem. No, yeah, I'd love to, but I don't know how they're going to find that that person, the suspect, because I'm pretty sure the suspect has changed clothes by now. So anyway, silliness, just stupid shit. All right. Apparently there's a law. There was the New York City Law School. It's a commencement speaker. New York's, who is it? What is it? New York University? No, City University of New York. Okay. University of New York has a law school, right? And apparently the commencement speaker of a law school commencement speaker has called the law white supremacy. Oh, isn't that special? White supremacy rules all. Advocates for a revolution. Okay. Let's see. Here's this clip.
So I start by asking you to join me in welcoming Fatima
Oh,
Mohammed,
no, I'm sorry.
elected by the graduating full-time
I'm sorry, never mind. This is the entire speech. I don't want to see the entire speech. But anyway, let's go through this article because I'm just confused. She's graduating from law school and then calls the law white supremacy. City University of New York Law School released a video Thursday of its May 12th commencement speaker who called the law a manifestation of white supremacy after Jewish groups slammed the speaker's use of anti-Semitic tropes, according to the Times of Israel. The City University of New York initially hid student speaker Fatima Mohammed's address, which advocated for revolution and expressed anti-Israel sentiments, only releasing it Thursday after public pressure. The Times of Israel reported Mohammed celebrated CUNY as one of the few law schools to, quote, make a public statement defending the rights of its students to organize and speak out against Israel settler colonialism, end quote, and to, quote, recognize that the law is a manifestation of white supremacy. Yes, it is white supremacy all around. Where is it? There it is. So that was part of her speech. Israel continues to, here's a quote from the speech, Israel continues to indiscriminately rain bullets and bombs on worshipers, murdering the old, the young, attacking even funerals and graveyards as it encourages lynch mobs to target Palestinian homes and businesses, she said. Is that before or after the rocket fire? I'm just curious. Mohammed concluded her speech by calling for a revolution, quote unquote, against, quote, oppressive institutions, quote, end quote. No person will save the world. No single movement will liberate the masses. Those who brought the ferocity of the violence, those who carry the revolution, the people, the masses, those who brought the ferocity of the violence, those who need our protection, these will carry this revolution, she said. No longer are we going to capitulate to oppressors, end quote. Well, and this is a law school graduate, elected by the speaker, elected by the other students to give a law school address. You just went to a school. You went to school for your degree in white supremacy? I don't get it. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a New York Post article on this too. Hey, look at this. Let's take it. Wait, why didn't that didn't go? There we go. Right there. Outrage critic rip. City University of New York law grads hate-filled commencement speech demand $1 billion. They're to ask for to defund the City University of New York for this speech. Outrage critics are demanding the City University of New York billions of dollars in taxpayer funding be stripped away after a law school grad delivered a hate-filled and dangerous commencement speech, ripping the New York Police Department fascist and Israel. Oh, she called them fascist. Her vitriolic May 12th graduation speech at the public city university law school, newly minted grad Fatima Musa Muhammad called for a revolution to take the legal system's white supremacy while blasting. Take on the legal system's white supremacy while blasting city cops and the U.S. military, claiming Israel carries out indiscriminate murder. Well, she's gonna be well received in New York, and the law. I hope she passes the bar. Let's see. Now, interesting. This hate-filled and dangerous speech has been brought to you by CUNY and paid for by New York taxpayers. Tweeted Simcha Eichenstein, a Democratic state assemblyman representing Brooklyn. Keep this in mind next time our elected leaders highlight their commitment to fighting anti-Semitism. Yeah, they're on a big fight anti-Semitism kick right now. I wonder if they're going to call this anti-Semitism. I'm just curious. The chat is slid. I don't know what that means. Now, Congressman Richie Torres, I'm sure, supports this speech. Let's see what he has to say. He said, oh, wait. Oh, wow. Richie Torres even. Oh, my gosh. Richie Torres, Democrat from New York, even criticized this speech. Listen to this. Imagine being so crazed by hatred for Israel as a Jewish state that you make it the subject of your commencement speech at a law school graduation. Anti-Israel derangement syndrome at work. Now, I'm surprised because Richie Torres is usually a very, very left-wing. It seems like he would support this kind of stuff, but apparently not. Good on him. And then, all right, so, during her speech, Muhammad accused the school of having self-serving interests and said it continues to fail us and continues to train and cooperate with the fascist New York Police Department, the military, and continues to train Israel's soldiers to carry out that violence globally. Really? The City University of New York trains Israeli soldiers? I had no idea that they were sending their military recruits to the City University of New York before they brought them back to Israel. I had no idea. So anyway, lots of people pissed here. Hate-filled, dangerous speech is brought to you by the City College of New York or City University of New York and paid for by New York taxpayer. Keep this in mind next time our elected leaders highlight their commitment to fighting anti-Semitism. True. Now somebody down here though. Oh, even somebody here, Barry Grodenchik, with a little blue and yellow flag in his, bio there thingy. Rich Torres is spot on. This hater can spout her hate where she pleases, but it should not be at a publicly funded City of New York School of Law. Her anti-Semitism destroyed this commencement, and it must be roundly condemned. I got a feeling there's a few. I imagine there's a few of the brethren and the brethrenettes that go to the City University of New York that are not happy right now about this speech. So it's interesting that even Richie Torres criticized it. I'm almost shocked by that. All right, let's move on. Okay, this is an interesting article by Julie Kelly that I want to read. I saw a couple blurbs of this, but it's kind of talking about how so there's handed down sentences in this January 6th stuff, right? But what's interesting is that 3 years after the BLM riots, the people fighting with police and whatnot, very much like January 6th, right? They had their own little insurrection. But they had an insurrection in 2017 on Inauguration Day. They've had all kinds of stuff going on in 2020. The people attacking the federal building in Portland. There's all you've seen it all, right? You've seen it all, and yet somehow the worst attack on the U.S. Capitol since the Civil War is getting crazy sentencings, right? So anyway, she says. There's a quote. She starts with a quote. 3 years later, no justice for BLM insurrection in D.C. D.C.'s lead prosecutor has turned a blind eye to a six-month campaign of terror in the nation's capital in 2020 so he can keep his sights on the mostly nonviolent protesters of January 6th. And it is true. They were mostly nonviolent protesters. There was a handful of idiots fighting with police. But if all those people on January 6th who were in that Capitol area, the Capitol building area. If they all decided at once that they were actually going to fight the police, they outnumbered the police by thousands. And yet they didn't. And most of them, even when they went inside the Capitol building, could they have been much more damaging to the building? Could they have done more property damage? Could they have overwhelmed the security in that building, since they didn't really have as much security as they probably should have? Of course they could have, but they didn't. Why? Because that's not what they were there for. This was not an insurrection. They just wanted to have their voices heard. They wanted to yell at the people in Congress saying, hey, hold this vote. Let us finish these court cases that you're not allowing to happen, right? But no, the media's called it an insurrection. They said it's a violent, armed insurrection. Armed with what? Flags? Some pepper spray that some of them took away from the police officer who was spraying them with it. I mean, hi, Trippy Liberty, what's up? So anyway, so here is this article by Julie Kelly, and let's see the opening of it. Our office prosecutes all acts of violence, regardless of political motivation, the same. That's a quote. So said U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Matthew Graves, under oath, mind you, with a straight face during a hearing of the House Oversight Committee earlier this month. Representative Paul Gosar for Arizona questioned Graves' disparate treatment of Black Lives Matter rioters who terrorized Washington, D.C. in 2020 versus Trump supporters involved in the events of January 6, 2021. Although the start of both incidents was a mere 7 months apart, they are a world away in terms of accountability. In what Graves calls the Capitol Siege investigation, more than 1,000 Trump supporters have been criminally charged. Graves, a Biden appointee, has promised to double that caseload before he's finished. On what grounds? Well, the Capitol grounds, apparently. Now he's going to go after people who were even there. If you were there, prepare to be prosecuted if he can identify you. Even if he didn't do anything. If he just sat there saying, let's go, Brandon. He wants to prosecute you because you were there. Now, that is, however, not the case for all rioters who caused far more violence and inflicted far more damage to the nation capital in 2020. The rioting that began on May 29, 2020 at Lafayette Square prompted the lockdown of the White House, Donald Trump, his wife, the teenage son, who were ushered to an underground bunker for their safety as looters and arsonists repeatedly tried to scale the fence and break through police barricades erected outside the White House. And what started that night in 2020 didn't just last a few hours. As was the case with the Capitol protests on June 1st, rioters burned part of St. John's Church, a historical landmark across from the White House, and set ablaze other areas of the public park. Chaos continued throughout the summer with the president, his family, the White House staff under constant threat. Police arrested 11 people in Lafayette Square on July 2020 for various offenses, including assault of a police officer. The Tuesday night incidents that stretched over hours are the latest confrontations to transpire near the White House, where the protesters have been gathering daily for more than a month to protest for racial justice after the killing of George Floyd in custody of Minneapolis police, the Washington Post reported on July 8, 2020. The point here is none of these people are being prosecuted now. They've dropped charges even on ones who were fighting with police. Let's see. Dozens of people were arrested, including a man who jumped over 2 barriers in an attempt to enter the White House. Yet only a handful of protesters, some face federal charges. In sharp contrast to a January 6th protester who all face federal counts even for low-level offenses such as parading in the Capitol. Nearly all the charges initially filed by the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office were dropped. Graves did not take over the office until November 2021. Now, despite his claim, his office is prosecuting a number of individuals in connection with the incidents in the summer of 2020. That simply does not appear to be the case, particularly since Graves further confirmed to Gosar that the office, quote, declined a number of arrests presented to it under the leadership of the prior administration. But a change of political leadership does not absolve Graves from failing to bring federal charges against violent criminals who tried to destroy the nation's capital in 2020. If Graves can indict non-violent individuals for seditious conspiracy who did little more than make travel plans to attend a political rallies on January 6th, he could easily find more damning evidence against deep-pocketed organizers who encouraged thousands of riders to occupy D.C. for months, threaten the president, traumatize residents and businesses, assault federal police, and intimidate Republican lawmakers and voters in the seat of the American government. A legitimate insurrection. So, this goes on, and the point is, very few of these people are being prosecuted, and for far graver things than some of the people they've been putting in jail for standing around and taking selfies on January 6th. And it's not consistent. All right, I'm going to keep going because I got a few. Jane Fonda. The reason she's here's I finally get to Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is on the thumbnail because Jane Fonda has said some stupid nonsense. And I'm surprised that there are a lot of people who even know who Jane Fonda is sometimes, but they do because she still does that show with Lily Tomlin, at least on Netflix. So anyway, Jane Fonda has a novel way to solve the climate crisis. Okay, Jane Fonda has a novel way to solve the climate crisis. Let's just watch the clip. Okay, I'll leave the articles up here, but since we run out of time, here's the clip of Jane Fonda on, I think, Kelly Clarkson's show. I'm trying to figure out, why is she on Kelly Clarkson's show, first of all? I mean, what, did she do something new? But she's had a lot of surgeries, man. Can she just grow old? I don't know. Anyway, here's Jane Fonda talking about the cause of climate change. Listen.
You can take anything, sexism, racism, misogyny, homophobia, whatever, the war, and if you really get into it and study it and learn about it, and the history of it,
study.
Everything's connected. There'd be no climate crisis if it wasn't for racism.
Say what? Say what? There would be... Did she say there would be no climate crisis if it weren't for racism? Okay, let me let me go back to this article. I'm gonna see what this says. Well, fellas, you get blamed for everything else. Might as well throw climate change in there, too. At the Cannes Film Festival this week, wacko actress Jane Fonda pinpointed the only logical cause of the alleged climate crisis: the patriarchy. This is serious, you said Saturday. You've got about 7-8 years to cut ourselves in half of what we use of fossil fuels. False. Unfortunately, the people that have the least responsibility for it are the hardest hit. The global south, people on islands, poor people of color. It is a tragedy that we have to absolutely stop. We have to arrest and jail those men. They're all men behind this. Oh, goodness. And just in case you thought she was done, Jane Fonda went ahead to double down on the lunacy. It's good for us to realize there would be no climate crisis if there was no racism. There would be no climate crisis if there was no patriarchy. A mindset that sees things in a hierarchical way. White men are the things that matter, and then everything else is at the bottom. So climate change is because of white men. Okay.
You're fucking a white man!
Okay. There's another, let's see. And it demands imprisonment. Oh my goodness. She said, let's see. What did she say? It's good to realize that there would be no climate crisis if there was no racism. Okay, we said that. You can take anything: racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, whatever, the war. If you really get into it and study it and learn about it, it's all connected. There'd be no climate crisis if it wasn't for racism. So I am so confused. I am so confused. So Where is now? In other climate news, a Swedish camera indicts a climate activist moment after they disrupt a primetime show. Apparently, a viral video posted Sunday. I'm just gonna move on from Jane Fonda. I can't talk about her anymore. That's just some crazy shit. Hi, honey. I see everybody at P-Dog, and get him to give me his B-Dubs order. I don't want B-Dubs. I'm going to work after this. But thanks, honey. I appreciate it. That's say hi to Paulissa, my lovely daughter, the mother of my grandchild. Okay, viral video posted Sunday showed a moment when a cameraman used his equipment to take down a climate protester who stormed the stage at the finale of Sweden's version of Dancing with the Stars. Olympic skier Charlotte Kalla was dancing with professional partner Tobias Karlsson during Friday night's finale of Let's Dance on Sweden's TV4. The climate activists were then filmed running onto the stage with one person holding up a yellow and black sign saying, "Restore wetlands." We have so many wetlands in the United States. I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, climate activists were filmed. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Restore. Another activist tossed a yellow powder into the crowd, and a third could be seen in the background. Well, let's see. Let's see this. Okay, so they're... Oh, here come the activists. Okay, here come the activists. Throwing yellow powder. Okay, that says restore wetlands in whatever language. Oh! Oh, no! He got taken out by the camera! Whoa! Did you see? That's amazing. The brief disturbance lasted until the camera on its crane came out of nowhere and knocked down the activist holding up the sign. Okay, well, there you go. He got taken down. Let's see. Let's move on. Also, this is kind of we're continuing this. Oh wait, this isn't it. Where's the tweet? Oh, here's my climate tweet. If you haven't seen this, this is an editorial cartoon. Actual climate change pronouncements, 1970, will be an ice age by 2000. 1976, global cooling will cause the world war by 2000. 1989, global warming and rising sea levels will wipe the entire nation off the map by the year 2000. 1990, we have 5 to 10 years to save the rainforest. 1999, Himalayan glaciers will be gone in 10 years. 2000, snow will be a thing of the past. 2007, global warming will cause fewer hurricanes. What? Fewer hurricanes? I thought it was more hurricanes. Oh, I see. No, in 2007, they said it will cause fewer hurricanes. In 2008, the Arctic will be ice-free by 2013. 2012, global warming will cause more hurricanes. 2014, the science is settled. That's an old one. That's a recap. And then you have AOC who says we'll be all dead in 12 years. So anyway... All right, let's see. I'm out of time, but here, deep-pocketed donors bankroll global panel cracking down on misinformation. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna skip this, but I want to. Did you hear that on Twitter? Apparently, one of the countries over in the EU is threatening Twitter to shut down Twitter in the EU if they don't crack down on misinformation. And so this article was kind of related to that, and I'm going to finish with this. There's several others, but I'm going to finish with this one today. So apparently foundations with large endowments and a history of bankrolling leftist causes are partnering to finance a new global group of researchers to fight online misinformation. So, misinformation is in the eye of the beholder. Yes, it is, France, Mike Savage. Thank you. The International Panel on the Information Environment had its first official meeting in Washington on Wednesday, including over 200 researchers from 55 countries. They focused on the reduction of public understanding and belief in science. Okay, so if you don't believe in climate change, you're in trouble. It's not even you don't, because I believe in climate change. I'm sure the climate changes. It's been changing for thousands of years. Otherwise, where I live right now would be under 50 feet of ice, because the ice age. Look, climate change. In fact, this is my theme: climate change. Ever since the ice age, I've been saying I'm going to make a T-shirt about that. I think I'll do that this week. Climate change. Ever since the ice age, it's been changing forever. Now, and if humans have some impact on that because of carbon, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. 97% of the scientists agree that humans might have some impact on climate change. Not how much of a degree, not how much, but here's the thing. the world's also getting greener because of the carbon in the planet, and the green that's causing reforestation and replanting of crops and whatever. That's good, right? You want that. And guess what? If it gets a little warmer, think about the growing seasons that get longer in the climates where they already do growing, right? The growing season. So you're going to have more food. You're going to have more green trees. And plus well, anyway, let me read this article. Misinformation moderation has been used in recent years to target conservative online speech and right-leaning news outlets. Oh, no. No, it hasn't. Anyway. Well, the organization with a history of backing left-wing causes are partnering with a new worldwide group of researchers to combat online misinformation. The International Panel of the Information Environment, IPIE, convened in Washington. We already now. Why did they? Okay, so they do this in the headline, then they go and tell you the 3 main points, and then they give the same 3 main points in the first 3 paragraphs. That is not good journalism. I'm sorry. I'm Daily Caller. I'm talking to you. Anyway. Many of IPIE's backers have a history of bankrolling left-wing groups and causes. The Ford Foundation supported the launching of the Black Feminist Fund in 2021 with $15 million in seed funding, according to the website. The Ford Foundation has also contributed to over $4 million since 2010 to Media Matters for America. Oh, God. A left-wing media watchdog that describes itself as a, quote, dedicated to comprehensively monitoring, analyzing, and correcting conservative misinformation, end quote, according to its grants database. The Rockefeller Brothers Fund has invested nearly $1 million in anti-Israel organizations such as Jewish Voice for Peace, Zochrot, and the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, according to Tablet. So anyway, it goes through a list of these groups. Misinformation moderation has been used in recent years to target conservative online speech and right-leaning news outlets. In 2020, the New York Post published a factual story about Hunter Biden's laptop, but it was heavily censored by Facebook and Twitter under the pretext of combating Russian disinformation. Multiple funds managed by Arabella Advisors, a Democrat-connected consulting company, financed research by universities and nonprofits investigating how online information and disinformation disseminate. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes what they consider misinformation and disinformation is the stuff they don't agree with. That's all it is. That's all it is, the stuff they don't agree with. Let's see, in this inaugural report, the IPIE researchers looked into the efficacy of countering online misinformation using content moderation. Content moderation! See? They're going to censor me and you and everyone else who doesn't agree with them. Content moderation, arguing that there are other strategies supported by stronger scientific evidence. Oh, are there now? Yes, you can jail people. That'll stop them from talking. That'll get them offline because they don't have computers in jail. They can do that, right? It's simple. But according to the New York Times, their findings suggest the most efficient approaches involve labeling content as disputed and identifying state media sources while posting corrective content. Well, isn't that what happens on Twitter now? They have the content community moderator type peoples who write the little blurbs under some things that are maybe questionable, right? Now, the report expresses far less confidence in the success of government endeavors to exert pressure on social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter to censor content, according to the New York Times. And they go into algorithmic bias and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, so there's big money people, the New World Order, the what do they call that? The World Economic Forum people. They're all the ones trying to censor you because they don't want you to know what they're really doing, because they're just making themselves richer and richer while you are not allowed to thrive and profit in your own personal world. All right, other headlines. I'm going to go through just the headlines alone. I'm not going to go into the articles. The Biden-McCarthy deal hands Joe Manchin a victory in pipeline permitting battle. I know Joe Manchin was one of those senators of the Democrats that wanted some more pipeline permitting that the Biden administration was trying to fight. So we'll see how that works out. Climate change cultists facing federal charges for vandalizing case containing famous Edgar Degas sculpture. So this is in Italy. Italian police were quick to haul in climate cultists who defaced Rome's iconic Trevi Fountain. Well, in Washington, D.C., at the National Gallery of Art, some knuckleheads threw some paint on the Degas. This is the ballerina. What's this the Degas sculpture called? It has a name. Anyway, it's a famous, this one right here. You can see it on the screen. They threw some paint on it and they got arrested. Good. Charge them. Get them. Put them in jail. Okay. With the less desirable prisoners in the jail. There you go. Here is I was going to get to this when I get to the climate change section. So there's a new study that destroys the doomsday glacier narrative. Today's ice is 8 times thicker than it has been in the last 8,000 years. Scientists have determined there's no measured data to indicate thicker than present ice after 4Ka at a West Antarctic study site near the Thwaites Doomsday Glacier. Any ice melt observed today is thus reversible and natural. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Anyways, article about they've been talking about this Doomsday Glacier, that if it melts, oh no, the world's gonna flood. Nah, they're finding that there's evidence that may not be the case. So you can read that for yourself. McCarthy recites the Rhino Creed. We let the government grow, but at a slower rate. That's the thing. Yeah. This whole deal, the debt default deal. Oh, we're gonna allow the government to grow at a slower rate than they wanted to. That's considered a cut in on the Republican side. So Democrats increase the spending, and Republicans reduce the rate of increase of spending. They're all fucked, if you ask me. You can read that yourself. White House progressives should support a debt bill because of items it doesn't repeal, avoiding a default. More on CNN this morning, White House Communications Director Ben LaBolt reacted to concerns about the debt ceiling agreement from the Progressive Caucus by stating that they should support it because it prevents default and doesn't repeal programs that the Biden administration has gotten passed and members of the Progressive Caucus has supported. So apparently the Progressive Caucus may not be fully on board with the debt deal either. You can read that one. So they're trying to, make some shit to make it sound good. Apparently Wall Street is hoping that another Democrat runs for president in 24. Nobody wants Biden is the quote. Wall Street executives privately disclosed their hopes that another Democrat wins the party nomination instead of President Joe Biden, according to the Wall Street Journal. Okay, here's a question. I'm going to put it in the poll, and you can put a yes or no, and this will be my last act of the day. Will Biden pull a Lyndon Johnson? And you can answer any way you want, because will Biden drop out during the 2024 race? Do you think I should say, will Biden actually be running for president after the nomination process? That's my question. So whether he drops out, whether he gets voted out, whether he has get sick like the plan was. Because I obviously my prediction failed. I thought Kamala Harris would be president of the United States by now, or sometime this year. Okay. Will Biden end up running? Yes or no? That's what I meant by pulling a Johnson, not the innuendo form of pulling a Johnson. Okay. And then the other articles left here. House Oversight Democrats defend the FBI ahead of alleged Biden bribery scheme document subpoena. The Democrats are defending the FBI. Isn't that weird? Hearing Democrats defend law enforcement. It's a weird world, isn't it? Also, Biden offers safe harbor to Hunter as he flails over scandalous reports, according to new message show. In 2018, Hunter Biden's world was collapsing. New York Times had run a story on one of his shady deals in the Chinese with his father, then vice president, was pulled into the vortex. I have no idea what this is about. You can read it yourself. I just thought it'd be interesting. And then, this guy in crime and non-punishment, a man got slashed and stumbles onto the tracks, but he got out of the way. A man was slashed in the arm inside a Manhattan subway station on Monday before stumbling onto the tracks, cops said. The suspect pulled a cutting instrument after he and the victim got into an argument while standing on northbound F train platform inside the 2nd Avenue station around 5:30 p.m. According to the police, victim stumbled onto the roadbed after he was slashed in the right arm, but was able to pull himself back up to safety. So he ended up going to the hospital. But so, here's the thing. The New York subways is one of the safest places to be on the planet. So if someone is threatening to kill you, do not, or other passengers, or if someone's threatening to, if someone's threatened to kill other passengers, do not intervene, because it will not happen. You are in a safe space. Nothing will happen. No one will cut you, and you won't fall out of the tracks. Apparently some Lululemon employees were fired after confronting thieves. So, 2 men say they were fired by Lululemon, the apparel company, after some thieves were ransacking an Atlanta store and called police to report the robbery last month, and they got fired. Now, there's a question of whether these employees got fired because they called the police, because someone's in there stealing a bunch of shit from a Lululemon store, and or if it was because they left the store and got the people's license plates, but they got fired for stopping thieves, and because the people who stole the stuff are being prosecuted, but the 2 people who work in the store got fired for confronting them and getting their license plates and calling the police. I say save the heroes, but you can read about it in this story. And that's it. That was my last story that I was going to even mention today. So guys, I'm happy to be back. I will have more information about, or beautiful stuff about my trip on my other channel, Marty's Big Journey. You can check that out over there. In fact, I'm going to make a video that I already posted, just a little short video, go live, of the probably the most beautiful garden I've ever seen. But I don't get around that much. But this hidden garden at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. They have this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous hidden garden. In fact, let me just put a link. I'll put a link in the chat today, so you don't even have to look for it. It is amazing, and so I'll put the link there, or I'm gonna make it go live now anyway. Let's see, what is it? Marty's Big Journey. Oh, I have to make that go live. Hang on a second. Let me make this video go live. But other than that, guys, thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and roughly. And if you would be so kind, hit the like button, share this stream before, during, after. And if you want to sponsor the show, Carnivore Dad, a.k.a. Jimmy Das, Hotep. Our brown note, I don't get the brown note thing. I don't want to hear the brown note. I don't want to see the brown note. I don't want to live the brown note. Okay, there will be no brown noting here. But if you will, let's make this video go live, because this is this is garden's amazing. Here it is. Let's see. Fix that. Well, let's see. Go live, public. No. Scheduled. I'm gonna unschedule. We're gonna make this public right now. Nope. Publish now. What the hell? Stop it. There we go. It is public now. There we go. All right, let's go to my channel. We'll put it in the links. And on that note, thank you. Gotta go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm. Wait. Before and I'm there we go. You'll have to click the link yourself. I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.